Let's move on to some indie stuff. Possible indie stuff.
Okay.
Twitter beef.
A little Twitter beef.
Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho.
Ooh. Why don't you tell everyone what it's about?
So, just from a little research, it sounds like Chris Jericho was the one who started this beef, right?
Okay.
And he came out and said something along the lines of, you're not the best wrestler in the world to Kenny Omega. You're not even the best wrestler in Winnipeg, because I think they're both from Winnipeg.
Yeah.
So Kenny Omega came back and said, "Oh, you know what? Kids never meet your heroes." This clown just came out of the blue and called me a bum, essentially. Mm-hmm. Which, this is definitely a work.
Definitely
right?
a work.
Definitely a work, because from what we can tell, it sounds like they're going to have a match in the Indies somewhere, which would be great. Is it Ring of Honor?
It might be Ring of Honor.
What if Chris Jericho went to New Japan?
Ooh.
That'd be mental.
Brings the list.
Oh my, dude, he would be incredibly popular. He would be so popular in Japan with his style. Mm-hmm. He'd be,
and he can still wrestle too. That's the crazy thing about it. I think he's almost 50.
No, I think he's 46. I think I just saw it somewhere. Let me look it up. I think it's on his Twitter. Chris Jericho, I am Jericho. 46 years of maximum tomfoolery.
Yeah, so 46-year-old wrestler, he still wrestles at a high level, his age.
He's better than most people still.
Yeah, better than Kane. We'll still harp on Kane.
Kane's older than him.
I know.
Kane's like 60.
But still, Kane needs to retire.
Yeah. So
anyway,
they're doing a work here. Clearly, it's a little fake Twitter beef. They're taking a page out of the YouTube diss track book.
Right.
They're doing their own thing. Next time we see them, Kenny Omega is dropping a diss track with. He'd be with iDubbbz, right?
iDubbbz. Post Malone.
Chris Jericho is with Rice Gum. That is a stupid joke. Let's get off of it. But yeah, this is a work. They're going to have some sort of feud on the indie scene, which would be incredible.
It'd be great. I mean,
if they did the New Japan for the U.S. title, that'd be so sick. Oh my God. Because those guys can talk. Both of them can talk.
Right.
So imagine the promos that they would cut against each other or with each other.
That's going to be deep.
I'm excited.
I hope
that's really it for that news story.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say for
it? Other than that, we just have the update on Roman Reigns. It looks like he could be back earlier than expected, but I don't think they're going to do anything with him until after Survivor Series. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't expect Roman Reigns to come. So for you Roman Reigns fans, don't expect anything too soon. Just expect something after Survivor Series.
Yeah.
And then I think there's just one more news story that's very major, and that is the Jeff Jarrett incident.
What happened with Jeff Jarrett?
So apparently he's been kicked out, and I think they kicked him out of the of Impact. So it's no longer a Global Force or Global Force Wrestling anymore. I believe it's just called. I think it's just Impact again now.
Who knows at this point?
Yeah,
who really
TNA is just the only thing I'll say about them is they're just a clusterfuck of a company.
Yeah, they're awful. It's an awful company. There's a reason that they've almost bankrupted themselves 10 different times.
Yeah, it just sucks that that's what happened.
Yeah.
In terms of because at the beginning of TNA, it was TNA, whatever it is now. It had a promise with some wrestlers. They brought in some guys, they did some things right, but ultimately it is where it is now, where it's just no one wants to work for them anymore because they don't pay the wrestlers on time. It doesn't work anymore because they're late with the production staff salary, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's just stuff that you have to scratch your heads with this Impact Wrestling, and there's a reason why it's no longer number 2 or even number 3. It's on the back burner of even a small rinky-dink gym.
There's so many more companies that are better than Impact, whatever the hell they're called. We want to talk about some possible teams for Survivor Series?
Yeah, let's just go over the card, actually. I think that's a great segue for it. Just about what the rumor is for the match itself.
Because they haven't said anything about the teams. Even WWE hasn't put out anything about the teams. But let's go through the matches and then possibly give some predictions of team composition.
For sure. So the first match, of course, is the Brock Lesnar versus Jinder Mahal match. We've already given our opinions on that. The next match is the Alexa Bliss versus Natalya match. I'm not feeling it myself. Are you feeling it?
I don't care. I think it's pretty safe to say that based on who is a title contender for both of them, I think Alexa Bliss is going to win because it makes Asuka look stronger, right? I think that's kind of safe to say.
And then, of course, this is probably going to be the worst match of the night. Possibly the worst match of the year.
That's bold. That's pretty bold.
Is The Miz versus the Baron Corbin. I don't know why I called
the
it
Baron Corbin.
I don't know why I said that, but yeah, this match is going to be very bad. I don't expect anything special from that match.
Baron Corbin's going to win.
Probably. Next is going to be a match that I think we're both intrigued about just because we're in love with the Usos, and that is...
In love.
Usos versus Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Should be a good match.
That's going to be a good match. Both great tag teams. The Usos are better, which is crazy to think, but they are better.
They are better. They've been more of a tag team, whereas I feel like Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins are just two guys on the team.
Imagine this is a kind of sad thing to think about, though, right? If Roman Reigns is healthy and the New Day was the champions on SmackDown, we could have Shield versus the New Day.
We could, but there might be a new member to the Usos.
Who?
Rusev.
Is that a joke? Were they talking about that?
No, well, I'll show you this quickly what it is. So Usos, and
Dead air.
Rusev.
Talking about Usos and Rusev. Rusev is hanging with the Usos now. Is he going to pretend to be Samoan?
Day one is H.
Day one-ish. Now on that day one-ish. Dude, I'd actually kind of like that.
I don't know. I think Rusev fits that mean mug. I think the thing is that all these three guys are. I feel like they're great on the mic and they got like charisma to them, especially the Usos now in their heel persona.
Dude, I love Rusev on the Usos. That's a great idea.
I know. So
why didn't this happen sooner? Day one Usev.
Day one Usev. I mean, look at that, man. They just look like they'd be a badass team.
He should change his name to Usev too.
Usev.
He's the big dude. He's the biggie.
He's the biggie of the team.
This is brilliant. Who came up with that?
I don't know, but I guess...
It better be Usev.
It better be Usev, and I also like the beanie look. It makes him look even more badass.
He looks tough right there.
Like he could just kick your ass.
He looks like a shorter version of Goldberg. He kind of does. The beard's a little thick, though.
The beard's a little thick, and he's got a lot of chest hair.
I legitimately love that match. Because imagine they get Rusev, and they officially make him part of the Usos, and Roman Reigns comes back a little early. The Usos with Usev, right? How would they call that? Would they just still call them the Usos? And he's they adopted him as their son? They adopted Usev against the Shield. That'd be an amazing match.
I think it'd be great.
Now I want the Usos with Rusev to feud with the New Day again. That's awesome. What? You just blew my mind. That's crazy.
Well, let's just talk about the card that you want, like the prediction of who's going to be on the teams. So we'll do the men's first and then the women's.
Wait, was there one more match on the card that we didn't talk about? Or was that the last one?
That was the last one that they've said so far, but obviously we might have the Kane versus Braun Strowman match as well. But
yeah, that's probably good.
Do you want to do the men first or the women first?
Let's just do men. I mean, there's 5 women in each promotion.
All right, men.
I don't even want to do that one. That one's stupid.
All right. 1, 2.
So SmackDowners.
So who do you want to do first, Raw or SmackDown?
Let's just put one on each at a time.
Okay.
Right? I think it's safe to say, are we both going to say that Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon are going to be the leaders of each team?
I hope not, but I feel like it's going to happen.
Let's just put it. That's going to happen. I think they're going to be the leaders of each team.
Angle, Shane McMahon. I kind of want to put Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, even though they are in a feud with Shane McMahon.
I read a rumor that on tonight's SmackDown, this is being filmed on Tuesday before the SmackDown has aired, that Sami Zayn is having a match with Randy Orton for a position on the team.
Ugh.
I think Randy Orton's going to win. I don't think they're gonna try and mesh the two feuds in like.
Well, I mean, they could do something where they have to get along because they're fighting against the Raw brand, and then there could potentially be chaos where Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn just say, screw that, we're just going to get rid of Shane McMahon.
We're doing our thing.
Yeah,
yeah, it's a possibility. Who do you want to say? Who are you going to say? Sami Zayn then?
I'm going to say Sami Zayn.
All right, say Sami Zayn. I'm okay with that. For Raw,
Who would Raw get?
who would Raw get? Because you have Dean and Seth in their own match.
Yeah.
I would have easily said them to be in the match.
Maybe Jason Jordan?
Jason Jordan's on the team.
Probably just because Kurt Angle.
100% Jason Jordan's on the team.
Probably just
Do you
Kurt
think they're
Angle.
going to put Ty Dillinger on the team then?
No. They'll probably have a match
Dill.
for a spot, but I just can't think of anybody else. Kevin Owens for SmackDown for sure, I feel like. Depending also, well, I guess we'll say it for the third one. Or the fourth one next time. The third guy for Raw.
Let me just look at the Raw roster so I'm not making stuff up. It'd be easier to...
Ultra Instinct Goku could be on the roster.
Dude, versus both teams. He's his third team. And then they have Jiren. Apollo Crews?
No.
Yeah, right. You think they're going to put Finn Balor on the team?
Probably Finn Balor.
I'd put Finn Balor on the team. I think that's probably pretty safe to say.
Which also makes me think, for number 4 for SmackDown, it's got to be AJ Styles.
AJ Styles, yeah.
I'm kind of rethinking this, but let's just put this in for now.
What about Samoa Joe? You think he'll be healthy again in time?
I think he will be.
You think so? I think they put him on the team.
Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is number 4. And for the last one...
You think maybe they get, like... You think they get Braun Strowman just to do a double match that night? I would honestly think it's pretty safe to say he'd be on the team.
He would be on the team, but I think he's going to be... Whatchamacallit? He's going to be in a match with the Kane. I think that's going to be a match.
Well, I'm saying...
on the card.
I know, I'm saying you don't think that there's a chance that he's in that Kane match and then he's on the team? Like he beats Kane and then he's in the...
No, I don't think so. I think he's going to focus on Kane because they're really trying to build up that monster monogram.
Okay. What about...
Or moniker. Okay. we're back from a little transition here.
Staying in.
Yeah, we just came back from a transition here, but we're going to move on to number 5. So for Raw side, I think, like we said, or we talked about, is Roman Reigns, I feel like, is going to be number 5. Even though, like we said, not to expect him till Survivor Series, I just have a sneaking suspicion that Vince McMahon has a boner for Roman Reigns to be in the match.
He comes out and, like, repays the debt to Kurt Angle, right? That kind of makes sense as a story. Like, Kurt Angle filled in for him, so he's like, all right, I'll come back and fight for Kurt Angle's team.
Just make sure to get medicines for those mumps and meningitis, whatever you have.
I still hope he comes out with, like, just a misshapen, swollen face. Like, imagine how funny that would be. And, like, hopefully he's fine, but that would just be very funny to see Roman Reigns look like an absolute ghoul.
Ghoul?
He looked like a ghoul and a goblin combined.
Was a ghoul to a goblin?
Nothing. Number 5 on the SmackDown team.
This one's hard, man.
Let me look at.
Would it be the perfect 10?
You think Ty Dill? They put Ty Dill on the card. What about Bobby Roode?
Bobby Roode has to be there. I think
Bobby Roode's a shout? Because he was in the mob gang mentality with Dolph Ziggler, which also doesn't make sense because they're feuding.
Yeah, I know. Like, just harping on that, there was some, like, you could see that there's some feuds that's still going on and they're still fighting each other. It makes no sense. Or they're, like, helping each other out.
Yeah. I think to get Bobby Roode involved, because they obviously have a lot of stake in him, they'll probably put him in there.
They probably will, and they just need to turn him heel, man. He's, like, I don't know if I said this enough. He needs to be heel. His persona, his character is more heel-based.
Yeah.
And he gives off that kind of Ric Flair personality in terms of just...
He's a great heel. That's why, he needs to be a heel for him to be as big as he could be.
Yeah, but...
That makes a lot of sense.
Other than that, that's pretty much the SmackDown team for the men's side.
Who do you think's going to win?
I think if we're going based on our gambling storyline, I think it has to be Raw. Because I think SmackDown won it last year. So I think Raw is going to get the nod this time. Just because if Kurt Angle's in the match, they're not going to make him lose. I feel like they won't make Kurt Angle lose.
Yeah, especially Shane McMahon.
Against Shane McMahon, and also if Roman Reigns is in there, because...
The real question is, do you think we see a repeat of their classic spot where Kurt Angle threw him through the glass?
I hope so.
That would be...
Or at least I hope they mention it again. It'd be a nice little touch or Easter egg to those who've watched the product for so long.
They would have to, because that's a classic. It's literally one of the greatest scenes of all time.
Of all time.
I love it. Do we need to do the women? I mean, there's only like 5 women on each,
I mean, all you need to know is that Asuka's going to be on the Raw side.
and she's gonna win.
She's going to win. There's no way that they're going to make her lose. Well, I shouldn't say there's no way because WWE always finds a way. They did it with Nakamura, and they're doing it with Bobby Roode in terms of ruining the character.
Yeah, maybe they have like all 5 of the SmackDown women team up on her and beat her. You know,
Probably something stupid like
something stupid, or she just destroys all of them and wins, which should be what happened.
I just wish Triple H would just tell Vince McMahon, hey, I'm giving you the guidelines or the book to how to properly build these guys that I'm sending you to the main roster. Make sure you build them just like that.
I mean, the thing that always boggles my mind is that they changed them at all. Why? Why would you need to change them? Just let them be the same character in the same position in their story.
Because I think the creative team that they have on the main rosters are just like stupid as hell and they don't know wrestling. I think they're just Hollywood writers.
Yeah, I mean, even then, their writing is absolute shit.
It's garbage. I mean, they basically ruined Bayley. Bayley's like cringe now. She's not even watchable.
She's awful. I didn't really like her to begin with, to be fair. But she's even worse.
But it's worse. It's like 10 times worse.
It's atrocious.
Just a damn shame.
I think regardless, this Survivor Series is going to have some issues.
Probably.
I think they've put themselves in a really bad spot, not just with the Jinder Brock, but I think in general, they've kind of set themselves up for failure.
I feel like the only good match is going to be that tag team match.
Yeah, especially if you get Rusev in it.
Especially if you get Rusev. We're pushing for Rusev.
Dude, Usos with Rusev is my new favorite thing.
The 3
and it's
Us?
not even official.
Those just become the ooze.
They're all from Bulgaria.
They're all from Bulgaria.
They're not Samoan anymore. They're Bulgarian. The Bulgarian-Samoan connection. That's the tag team.
Hopefully.
All right. I mean, do we have any other news to discuss?
I don't think so, other than I think we covered the Jeff Jarrett thing. We covered Kurt Angle.
Jericho Omega.
I think that's it, guys. I mean, we just talked about the Roman and the Reigns.
The Roman and the Reigns.
That's what Wiza does.
Who?
Wiza?
I don't know who that is.
You remember Wiza?
Wiza?
Yeah.
Who is that?
The dude that did all the Madden videos, the NCAA videos? Or maybe I didn't show you. Maybe it's just me.
I don't know who that is. This part.
Well, I'll cut this out.
This part makes no sense for anybody, even me.
We'll cut this out.
All right. Well, guys, I think that wraps up. What's the name of this show?
I haven't come up with the name yet. It's still in the process.
The Wrestling Roundup.
Wrestling Roundup? No, I feel like someone already has that name.
It has to be a thing. I think that's the What Culture show, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Whatever. It's the Fusion Corp wrestling show.
Wrestling show, rumors, news and rumors.
It's called the Roman Reigns podcast.
The
Roman Reigns cast.
I know. But anyway, guys, this has been your boy Bernie, along with your boy Pete. We'll holler at you guys at the next Wrestling Roundup. Peace.